Hello friends, in the last video we have seen that how to add image within the division tag with some properties. Properties for the image like border radius to the image, height and width and object cover property to the image. Now today we would like to add few more properties to this card to make this card more beautiful. Now I'll open the VS Code, I'll keep the properties in same window. Okay, let us check. So this is our card and now I don't want a letter spacing which we have applied to this paragraph. So I'll comment it. So the letter spacing which we were using 2 pixel for the demonstration purpose, I don't want it. And also I don't want to capitalize each word. So last two properties I don't want. So I'll comment it. Once you comment it, you will see the change in the output. Now what I want to do, I want to create a heading to this paragraph. So come to the index.html, after the image and before the paragraph I want to create one heading. So I'll use h1 tag for the heading. I want a greater heading and give a name like services. This is the heading which I want. Now I want to make this as a center of my card. So h1 is a tag which is present in a class box 1. h1 is a children to the box 1. Now you want to apply specific property to the h1 as a text alignment center. So come to your style.css and here you can write dot box 1 is a parent class space the children is h1 tag and then to this h1 you want to apply property that is text alignment center and you can see the output. The services is a heading which is appearing at the center of your card. Now we want to add one more button at the bottom of this card as a read more option. So come to your division tag and after the paragraph you can create one anchor tag A. Here mention the hashtag because we are not redirecting anywhere and write a text like read more and check your output. You will get a simple link read more at the bottom of your text, but we don't want to show this underline which is appearing by default to the link. So I want to change it, but again I want to make this read more option to the center of my card again. So how will you apply this? Because A is a present in a box 1, so again A is a children, A tag is a children of box 1, so you need to apply that property. So how will you apply? So again you will write dot box 1. Within a dot box 1 there is an anchor tag and you will try to use a property called text alignment center. But you will observe that even though if you apply this property, the text is not appearing at the center location of your card because you cannot apply the text align property directly to the anchor tag. So what you need to do, you need to create a parent for the anchor tag. This is quite tricky and important. You need to create a parent for this anchor tag as text alignment property will not work directly for the anchor tag. So how will you do that? I'll remove this anchor tag. I'll create a separate division as a parent and within that division I'll use that anchor tag and I'll create one class and I'll name that class as read more. Now this anchor tag is a children of read more. So instead of applying property to this box 1, I can apply the property to the read more A and to the read more class I'll apply the separate property as a text alignment center and remove it from the anchor tag. Now we have written one property for the read more class, that is text alignment center, and if you look at the HTML code, anchor tag is a children of read more class and your text is appearing at the center. So anchor tag must be a children of someone so that it will get the property that is text alignment. Now we don't want this underline as well. So here to the specifically anchor tag means dot read more. Within that read more class there is an anchor tag A and you want text decoration as none. So automatically it will remove the underline of your anchor tag. Now I want to create one button around this read more option. So inside the anchor tag apply some property like keep the background color as black for example. You can see the text is background is black but the text is not visible, so you want to make the color of the text as white. So I'm using a simple colors white. Okay, but still that button is not looking good, so you need a space around that text. So that is the internal gap between content and the border. So what we call it as, we call it as a padding. Now I want the padding from the top down is for example 10 pixel and the left right as 20 pixel. So if you look at the output, I have created one button as a read more. And now suppose uh, you want to create a gap between these two. How to do that? So we want a gap between the paragraph and button should be greater. Now if you directly apply the property like margin top of around 20 pixel, so you will see that it is not reflecting that is in your output. So what you need to do, you just need to make this anchor tag as a display inline block. Now let us learn about the property display. So if I write a display block, the property name is display and block, you can see that it is taking the entire width of your card. And if I write a display property as inline hyphen block, it is taking the width of that block and your margin top property is now applicable. So remember, if you do not use this display inline block property, the margin property is not applicable, and once you apply the display inline block, it is using that margin property, and if you use only display block property, it will take the entire width of your card. So as per your requirement and design, you can select the width and the display property for your button. Now we want to create a effect for this button. So when I put my mouse onto this button, I want to change the background to the white, border should be black and the text should be black again. So to make this, you need to learn a property whose name is hover property and how to do that. So simply write the property name, that is read more A. You want to make the change when you put your mouse on the A. So you need to write colon hover, this H over. When you put your mouse on this anchor tag, you want to change the something. So for your understanding, I'll just you change the background color to red and check what will happen. If I put my mouse onto this red card, okay, it is not reflecting, something is wrong. Yeah, now if we put the mouse onto this card, you can see that it is changing the background color of your anchor tag as a red, but we don't want it to make it red. I want a border of black color, background should be white and text should be black. So simply instead of this, you will use a property as a background color white, background color white you want. Okay, let us check. So the background color is white but the text is not visible, so you want a text color as black. Okay, so it is happening but the button is not visible, so I want to show only the border of button. So you can apply the border property, border 1 pixel solid and the color should be black. Now check again. If I put my mouse onto this card, you can see that the background color is white, border is 1 pixel and the font color is black, which is initially white. So this is happening when my mouse is onto that anchor tag. So H over is a property which is used for creating your hover effect. Now again, if you want to make it a little bit smoother, so there is another property called as transition, and transition should be in second. Suppose I want to be make it in a 0.5 seconds. So 0.5 is a standard time and S should be the unit. Now check your output. It will happen smoothly. It will take zero point 0.5 seconds to happen. That if you want to differentiate, I'll make it 2 seconds. And now check your output. When you put your mouse there, it will take 2 seconds to convert it into white. So Here, instead of using 2 seconds to make it smoother, use 2.5 seconds and check your output again. Again, suppose you don't want to use a hover property for this button, so I'll just comment it, and you want a hover effect property to the entire card. So this shadow can be removed or added to create an effect to this card. So what I can do, I want to change property of this box on when I put my mouse within the card. So right here, dot box1 colon h over, and what you want to do when you put your mouse onto that card, I want to change its shadow. So the shadow which we have applied is box shadow, 0 pixel, 0 pixel, 50 pixels, and the black in color. So I'll change this value. Instead of 50, I'll make it only 10 when when I put my mouse onto that card. Now let us check. Now initially the shadow is of 50 pixel. When I put my mouse onto the card, you can see that the shadow is 10, but it is happening within a fraction of a second. I want to make it smoother, so I should apply the transition time. So I can apply the transition time, next property as a transition, and I want to use that transition, for example 2 seconds. For understanding, I am using a higher value. Check your output. When you put your mouse, it is taking the 2 seconds to complete that transition from 50 pixels of shadow to the 10 pixels of shadow, and it is creating the effect like pressing your card. So you can use that. So I'll again use 0.5 seconds. So we are applying the hover property to the entire box. So you can change any property of the any division with the help of this hover when you put your mouse onto that card. Now again, if you want to change this background color, so simply you will write background color as, suppose instead of white you want to change a background color to the light gray. So you can use the light gray and check your output. When you put your mouse on it, the background color and shadow is applied onto the card. So this is how you can use the hover effect property. So I'll remove this gray color, I'll keep the shadow property, and also I want to show the if hover effect property to the button, which is we have already commented. Check it once, final output. So when I put my mouse onto the card shadow is changed. When I put my mouse onto the button effect is also changed. And if you open your entire page, you will see that the card is appearing at the center because we have applied that property to the card. Now we want multiple cards. So what you can do, I'll just go to the box property. The card is appearing at the center because we have applied the margin top bottom as 100 pixel and left right as auto. So if I comment it, you will see that our card is appearing at the left side of your screen. Now imagine that you want three such cards. So what you will do, you will come to the HTML code, you will copy this entire box division, you will paste it again, you will copy this entire box one, you will paste it again. This is your second card and this is your third card. Check your output. You are getting a three cards but one below another. Now what you want to do, you want to make these cards aside to each other. So there are different ways to do that. So one of the way I can show you that the parent is box one, so you simply need to add only one property, that the display should be inline block. Save it and check your output. We have applied display inline block property to the box one, which is a parent class of all the three divisions. So all the cards are appearing in a single line. But now what is happening? All the cards are exactly sticking to each other. I want a common space between these cards. So how to do that? So you can apply the margin property. For example, I want a margin left side of 20 pixel, and check your output. Every card is taking the 20 pixels of a gap from the left hand side, but not from the right hand side. But sometimes you need a equal gap throughout the screen and you want to make your card to be appear at the center of your screen. So how to do that? It is a very simple. So don't apply margin to the card and don't use display property as well. Remove it and create one parent division which is holding all the three divisions of your card. So this is the first card, this is the ending of second card, and this is the ending of third card. I'll remove all the three cards, create only one division and paste all the three cards within the parent division. Now this division is holding all the three cards. So to this parent division you can apply one class and name that class as outer. Save it and write a properties for this outer. So in the CSS file I'll create one class at the top, that is dot outer, and to this outer property you can see all the cards are appearing at the one below another. Now to the outer, which is the parent of all the three cards, you just need to add one property, that is display flex. Save it and check, automatically the cards are appearing to the side of each other. We have not applied any display property to the box one, but the only display property to the parent as a flex. Now you want a equal spacing between these two, between these three cards. So to the flex property to the parent you can apply one property, that is to add a space between the cards you can use the property called justify content, and the property should be suppose center. So what will happen, all the three cards are appearing at the center because you are applying a property justify content center to the parent. Now you want a equal spacing between all these three cards, so instead of center you can use space around. Save it and check. So it is leaving a space from left and right side of your cards equally. So all the three cards are equally distributed along the screen. There is another property, if you write a space between, so it will create a space between, not from the extreme left and not from the extreme right. Now again, if you want all these three cards starting from the left, so you will write flex start. So automatically all the three cards will be starting from the left, and if you write a flex end, all the cards will be starting from the end of your division. So this is how you can use the display flex property and justify content. So I want suppose space around so that all the cards will be at the center. Now you can easily recognize that the effect which we have applied for each card, it is looking good. And also on the read more button you can see that one small thing which I want to make sure, that when you click on this button you can see that the card size is slightly increased because we have added a border to the anchor tag. Means this, the value of 1 pixel from the top, bottom, left, right will be added when you put your mouse onto that button. So same border should be there when you keep original button. Now you can see that the card size will not increase even if you put your button onto the read more option. So this is how you can use the different properties to create a beautiful cards.